Hey residents of Meepletown, today we're going to be checking out the new Spiel des Jahres nominee, Nova Luna by Uwe Rosenberg. Now in this game we're going to be taking tiles from around this moon calendar looking thing, placing them into our tableaus, and trying to fulfill goals on bowls on the tiles. And we're racing. We have 20 discs and we're trying to see who can get rid of their 20 discs first. I say let's get this thing to the table and let's check out Nova Luna by Stronghold Games. Alright, residents of Meepletown, today we have the Spiel des Jahres nominated Nova Luna set up, and we are ready to play. Now, in this game we're going to be taking tiles from around this circle here, placing them into our tableau, and they're going to be trying to fulfill these goals that are in these bowls on the tiles. And I'll show you what that looks like as we begin to play. It's actually very simple. Now, in this game, it's a race game. We each have 20 discs, and whoever gets rid of all their 20 discs first wins the game. So, when it's your turn, you're simply going to look to the right of this moon here, and you're going to be taking one of the first three. So if you've played Patchwork before, it's the same exact thing. So you're going to take this tile, or this tile. So because orange is on top, orange is going to go first. And let's see here. I'm just going to grab this 6 right here. Now, I'm going to grab this tile, and we look at this 6, and we move 6 spaces forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that was quite heavy, quite a big amount to move forward. Now, in this game, whoever's in behind, whoever's last, is actually going to have their turn. It's going to be their turn. So, you know, right here, blue could take multiple turns before it gets back to orange, and I think that's what I think they're going to actually do that. I think they're going to grab this 4, and you see how I'm taking the moon just to place it there so we know which tiles we've taken. I'm going to place that into blue's tableau there, and blue's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to be their turn again because they're still behind. Now, what we have here on these tiles is we have these objectives that we're trying to complete. So when you're placing tiles, now that we've got our first ones in here, you're going to place them orthogonally adjacent to another tile. Now, if we have 3 teal tiles, is what this goal is saying, orthogonally adjacent or in a chain, and I'll just show you what that looks like. I think it's easier to show you than try to explain it. Then we're going to fulfill that goal. Or if we have a blue and a yellow next to it, orthogonally adjacent, we're going to fulfill that goal. So, you know, blue really likes this because the goal is teal here, and they have a blue goal down here. So the blue player is going to grab this tile, going to place it right here, and move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because 5 is right here. Now blue has already completed a goal because he has or she has a single teal tile next to it, right? If they had more than one, they would fulfill the goal as well. So they just have to have at least 1 teal tile orthogonally adjacent there. So that goal is completed and 20 discs to go. Now it is orange's turn, and orange, let's see here, doesn't need any yellow for any of his goals. Does need some red, though it looks like this one's not yellow. See, we could go here, but there's no teal here either. So, all right. So orange is going to grab this one right here. Really not the greatest tile for orange, but not terrible. So 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it's back to blue's turn. Now blue, if they get a yellow tile, they can complete this objective right here. Also, they can complete this, so this is a perfect one for yellow. So yellow is going to grab this. It is 6 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So quite the hefty space movement there. But when they place this tile, this is going to be really neat because they are completing this. I'm sorry, that was dumb of me. Oh yeah, you can't do that. No. I could go here and fulfill this blue, or I could come here and fulfill this one right here. I'm going to do this one because this has teal, so it also wants teal to be next to it. So there's a yellow and a blue, which is this goal right here. Now you can only complete these goals 1 time each, so down to 18 discs. So right now the blue is dominating orange. Maybe not dominating, but anywho. All right, so let's go back here. Let's see. We've got the red. All right, so orange likes this tile right here. So orange is going to place it here. So I'm going to talk about chains for a moment. You may say, why didn't you place it next to this? Because in a chain, the way this game works is if it's orthogonally adjacent to another red, so if I'm trying to get 3 reds here, and I have a red here, and then there's a red orthogonally adjacent to this red, then it creates a chain. So this is actually touching 2 reds now. So if I put another red here, another red here, another red down here, there'll be 3 that are that are orthogonally adjacent over here to this teal one, and you'll be able to fulfill that. So I went ahead and I did that. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try to get a teal one to go here so that I can chain that. So I'm just going to play just a little bit more, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the game. Now, if there's only 1 or 2 tiles left, then the player can choose to refill this. So I needed to move 5, 1, 2, 3, whoops, where was that? Right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think I did that right. If I didn't, my apologies. All right, so it will be Orange's turn yet again. I said that I wouldn't mind having, yeah, so I'm going to go all the way around here and grab this teal so I can show you what a chain is, basically. And I'll go 1, 2, 3. And so now I'm going to place this here. And so this goal is fulfilled because there is a teal orthogonally adjacent and then another one chained off of it, just like that. So that goal is complete. Yeah, and this is, we're one red away from getting this chain, as I said earlier. So we'll do that. I'm going to do one more turn here, and then we're just going to call it. Let's see here. This player, yeah, let's go ahead and grab, let's grab this. This doesn't have any goals on it, but it only moves forward 1 space. So blue's going to be able to go again. So I can actually take this right here. And I like this because now this chains. This player has some good stuff going on because they have a lot of these teal bowls and they've already got 2. So you see that 2 right there, 1, 2. So that is complete. And then now all I need is 1 more teal somewhere orthogonally adjacent to here, and I'm going to get that one complete. And then I need 2 more because the tile itself does not count. So I still need 2 more teals to get that one complete. But again, this player is well on their way, doing extremely well. So let's go ahead and now that we know how the game is played, let's talk about the art and components of this game. All right, so with the art and components, I'm going to be honest, I am not a big fan of the art in this game. It's not terrible. It's nothing super exciting either. It's functional. I do like these moons here. It kind of reminds me of Smashing Pumpkins' Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, if you remember that album, the Tonight Tonight song, if you remember that music video, that was awesome back in the day. So I like that, so it gives me those feels. These tiles, though, I mean, they're okay. They're nothing like super exciting. Let's zoom in on these right here. You know, they don't look terrible. They don't look great. They're all right, you know. Anyway, they're fine. You know, this circle is all right. This is okay. This is actually kind of hanging on by a thread already, it feels like. I'm just nervous that this thing is going to break. The tiles are okay thickness here, component-wise. These discs are kind of small. I know some people have complained about those. Dean didn't like that at all. He thought that they could be big enough to fill these bowls. And as you see, I did kind of fumble around with them a little bit as I was picking them up off of here. So, again, the art is just mediocre at best. Not a huge fan of it. It is functional, like I said. The components are just okay. I will say this, I do have an issue really with the cost of this game. This game, you're going to pay at least $35 most places. I had to pay more when I got it off of Amazon just because I think it's getting more popular because it was nominated for Spiel des Jahres. But for $35, this feels much more like a $25 game. This is it. This is all you get in the box. So that's $35 US. I know some places it's even more expensive. I end up paying almost $50 for this, and I'll be real, it felt like a ripoff for me because this is just, again, this to me feels like a $25, maybe $30 game for what's in the box here, especially with the quality of the components just being extremely mediocre. They're okay. They're not bad. They're just not great. So anyways, yeah, I really didn't like that part about it. But besides that, yeah, everything is just kind of mediocre or whatever, and it's a little expensive, I think, for what you get in the box. But I will say that the box is nice and small, as you saw in the plate at the very beginning of it. I do like that, how the box is nice and small. So, I mean, it's not super small, but it's definitely not big. Anyway, all right, so let's talk about the gameplay. All right, so let's talk about gameplay. Here's some things I really like about Nova Luna. Number 1, I can teach this thing in like 1 or 2 minutes. Super fast, and I feel like I can play it with just about anyone. It's really easy to understand. Yet, number 2, the thing I like about it a lot is that there's some thinkiness to this game. There really is, and I really love when you get that combination of simple to teach and thinky And then the third thing is it's fast. This is a 30-minute game. When you play this thing 2 players, I've played games in 20, 30 minutes. I mean, you're just racing to fulfill those goals as you saw on those tiles. And wow, it can go pretty quick, but yet you feel really satisfied when you're done with the game. You know, whenever you first start laying down tiles, when I first started playing this, the very first time I thought, okay, this is cool, this is okay. But as you build out this tableau or all these tiles, and then you begin to, you know, midway through, towards the end, lay a tile and boom, you can lay 2 discs, 3 discs in one move. You feel ultra clever. It reminds me of the feels of That's Pretty Clever. Whenever you cross off something and you go boom, boom, and it sets this off and it sets that off. I really get those feels while I'm playing this game. I just really love how you just can lay those down, and when you get those combinations, it feels absolutely fantastic. So again, I just love that about the game. I love how quick it is, and I love how you get those combinations, and the decisions that you're making. They're not like there's a whole lot of decisions, but there is some thinkiness to it, because you have to, as you're picking the tile, think about the tile that you're picking up, what the goals that are on it, where you're going to be placing it, and the goals that are on the tiles that are already in your tableau. And then you're also thinking about the moon and the cost, like how many steps you're going to take, and thinking, okay, if I take this tile here, then my opponent's going to get to take a turn. But if I take this one here, then maybe I'll get to take 2 turns. But is it worth it? Because that one with the 6 on it is really awesome. And so I will say that as the game progresses towards the end, there can be a little bit of AP. Whenever I'm playing the game, it really feels very fluid. And then when you get towards the end, you definitely have some turns, or there's someone who takes a turn or 2, and I totally understand, where they're thinking for 2 or 3 minutes and really trying to math out, especially because it's a race game. When you get to the end and you see, oh no, man, this person only has 3 discs left and I have 5. I better figure out how to get rid of these first. Then you might take some time to think about it. And that would be the only, and I don't really feel to complain about this. I've heard some people say this, and that has to do with that race type, like the race part of it, saying that you could know, 75% of the way through the game, you're not going to win, and then kind of what you're just going through the motions. But I haven't felt like that. Like, I have had some times where someone won fairly handily, but it wasn't until the final, 2 or 3 turns, and usually when that happens, someone sets off a crazy chain. It's like boom, 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 and you're like, oh, I have 4 or 5 of these things left. So it wasn't like, I don't know, I just haven't really experienced someone just blowing someone else completely out of the water, and they, just sitting there for however long, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because this is only a 20 or 30 minute game. So you're not really sitting there that long. So let me just give you my final thoughts. Again, let me hit on those high points. Super easy to teach. Pretty, can be a thinky game, and it's short, it's quick, and man, it makes you feel clever, and I really like the decisions being made in this game. When it comes to like Cottage Garden and Indian Summer and Spring Meadow and all these different patchwork polyomino type games, I like Uva's games. I like those games, but I'm telling you, for me personally, this may be my favorite out of those, and it is super simple, but I just love the feels I get while I'm playing this game. And so I totally understand why this thing was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres. I really like this. Now, I wrestled between giving this thing a 7.5 and an 8. But what I decided to bump the thing up to an 8 simply because of the time. This is, again, a 20-30 minute game. If this game was an hour long, it'd probably be more like a 7.5 or something for me. But because it's so quick and feels like you're really accomplishing a lot in a short amount of time, I think I'm going to get this thing to the table all the time. A great filler. I get the feels. I know a lot of people loved Point Salad last year, and I quite enjoyed it. But I didn't get the total feels that some of my friends got. I think I'm getting those on this game from me. I just really think that this could be the filler game. I mean, right now, this is the filler games, the best one so far this year for me. Really, really enjoy it. All right, so with that being said, again, I give that 8 out of 10. Now, if you're enjoying our channel, we would love for you to subscribe to it. Also, you can go to MeepleTownGames.com and you can check out our YouTube channel. You can check out our podcast. That's on Podbean and iTunes and all kinds of stuff as well. Just search Meepletown. We're at Meepletown Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we're Board Game Geek Guild 3407. Thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild, Guild number 3407, at BoardGameGeek.com. and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.